Okay, so WWE2K17 it has arrived. Um, I reviewed last year's game, 2K16, which is on my channel, which you can check out if you so wish. I have, feel like I've been like a casual wrestling fan for many years. I've enjoyed watching wrestling for many years. My son, who is 10, really into wrestling, and he's got loads of the figures and likes playing the game. So I still like to get this game every year when it comes out. I still do follow wrestling. Don't watch it religiously anymore, but I still do keep up with it a little bit. I'm more of an Attitude Era person. That was my era really, with Stone Cold and Mankind and The Rock. But I still do enjoy wrestling. So I was really looking forward to this release. I thought last year's game was 2K16 a vast improvement on the year before. Their first venture into next-gen consoles was a bit of a disappointment. 2K15. 16 was a vast improvement. They added some more stuff back in. They vastly improved the My Career mode. So I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with this year, 2K17. I'd seen a lot of stuff on YouTube, a lot of stuff building up to this game. All the roster reveals, all that kind of stuff, and that was all really exciting. But I think what I was looking forward to the most this year was the fact that they dropped Showcase. Now, Showcase, when it was first used a few years ago, was a novel idea. It was, I think, best utilised in 2K13, WWE13, when they highlighted the Attitude Era, and I think that's when it was most utilised. After that, it got a bit tiresome year after year. And the Stone Cold mode last year was almost like a carbon copy of the Showcase for the Attitude Era. It was just focused on Stone Cold. So when I found out this year that Showcase was being removed to focus on other modes, I was pleased to hear that. But if you like, I'm not a fool and nobody else is a fool. I think we realise the only reason they dropped Showcase is because they couldn't get certain license for certain wrestlers. For the cover star, which was Brock Lesnar, for some of his top career matches, which would be the likes of Kurt Angle. They obviously couldn't get license to use Kurt Angle in the game. I suspect if they had done, he potentially would have been the bonus one. So that's it. Showcase is gone. But they did make promises that they were going to focus heavily more on the My Career and the Universe mode, which I was really pleased to hear, because my favourite mode on the WWE games is the Universe mode. It has been for many years. I'm more of a simulation type player. I like to play Universe mode and be like the general manager and almost simulate the weeks. Some matches I'll play, some matches I'll simulate, some matches I'll watch. I'll set up certain championships. So I was really pleased to see that they were going to focus more heavily on Universe mode. They've added some stuff in this year, as you can see here on screen right now. This is the promo engine, which is a really cool idea, and it kind of half succeeds. It does add something new to the game, because as we all know, promos are a big part of the wrestling product on WWE television. So they do try the best to make it work. I think where it fails is on two levels. There's no voiceover work at all. It's all text based, which I can live with. And a lot of the stuff that they say doesn't match up to the wrestler that's saying it. Look at some of the stuff that Brock's saying on screen now. Number one, he wouldn't say it anyway, because it'd be Paul Heyman speaking for him. But number two, he wouldn't talk like that. So it doesn't work in that sense. Some of the promos I've seen does, and I really like the part on the promo where you're able to call somebody out and it develops into a fight there and then. So it kind of half works, the promo engine, and I think there's a good solid foundation for them to work on that for next year's game. Other parts that they've added into universe mode, I mean, it's more accessible in regards to editing. You can access how to edit the superstars and the belts and the arenas and all that kind of stuff. It's much easier to access. It feels more like a actual show now, because they've got the intros to the shows, Michael Cole introducing the show, the fireworks at the beginning, so it all feels more of a TV product, the kind of thing that you would see on a WWE program. You can add run-ins now to Universe, you know, on pretty much any match. Yeah, obviously you can change all the rivalries. So I think they have succeeded a lot in Universe mode, and from what I've seen, there's quite a lot of variety in regards to the cutscenes. And it does make a bit more sense than it has in previous years. You know, it's not, you know, if you're in a rivalry with someone, it doesn't bore you to tears in the sense of it's the same people fighting every week. You know, one week a wrestler might have a promo and call out the other wrestler, so that'll be like week 1. And week 2 they might have a match with somebody else, and the other person will come out and interrupt, and then week 3 they may well have a match with each other, and it'll end with a cutscene. It'll intensify the rivalry, so it kind of builds up and it all kind of makes sense, and there's a bit more of a payoff at the end. Whereas before, when you got to pay-per-views, generally speaking, if that was when the rivalry was going to end, that's it. You would just have the match and there'd be no cutscene. Whereas for some of the rivalries, not all, but for some of them, there has actually been cutscenes at the pay-per-view to like give you like the payoff. So I do think they have improved Universe this year. In regards to the massive steps forward that I was hoping for and expecting, because they've dropped Showcase, no, I don't think they've made leaps forward, but at the same time I don't think they needed to. Universe has been solid really for a number of years, so it didn't need drastic changes. I think one of the gripes that me and probably a lot of other wrestling fans have with the game, as soon as it comes out, it's pretty much out of date. They don't address the brand split in it, but pretty much from day one you buy the game, you can go on to the downloadable creation suite, and you can download the new Raw arena and the new SmackDown Live arena, and they're pretty damn accurate, I have to say. And the new titles, the Universal title and the SmackDown Tag Team title, etc., they're not in the game, but again, you can download them at the creation suite, and they look pretty much exactly the same as they do in real life, because let's be honest, the new titles aren't exactly super inventive in regards to how they look. They're just the same as the other titles, just with a different coloured leather, really. I mean, it makes me laugh. You can see on the screen there, he's kicking nobody. There are a few bugs at the minute in the game, which is probably my biggest gripe right now. There's more bugs right now in this game than any WWE game I can remember. Really odd bugs, you know, some of them with the entrances, but quite a lot in Universe mode. There will be, you know, you'll say that you're gonna have a match with the Big Show, and then you'll come down to the ring, and the Big Show comes down to the ring, and then it looks like the match has started, and then you start fighting Sami Zayn. while the Big Show stood in the ring watching. It's just bizarre. So some of the collision detection is pretty naff occasionally, whether the arms get stuck in the ropes and they're dangling about. So I think it's not overly distracting from the game, but I do think they've got some work to do in regards to a couple of updates to iron out some of the bugs within the game. The roster size again is really impressive, a really good roster. I've no complaints really with the roster, and some of the DLC content will give us Shinsuke Nakamura and people like that that aren't on the roster from day one, unless you bought like the NXT edition. So the roster size, I've no complaints with it at all. It's really good to see Goldberg in the game, and he looks amazing. And it looks like he may actually potentially be coming back into the WWE. I think he's in negotiations at the minute. So they're following their trend again with the cover stars, or the bonus content, pre-order bonus content becoming part of the roster in real life. They did it with Sting, and now it looks like they're doing it with Goldberg. So that's really good too. So I think, for me, I think the biggest disappointment so far, I have to say, I have been playing career mode. I can't honestly say that I've put hours and hours into career mode. I have put some time into it, but it doesn't feel an awful lot different from last year. It just doesn't. They've added a couple of things into it, like the Paul Heyman thing, which I haven't experienced yet, and like t-shirt sales, which really just means nothing. But they've still got like the Authority challenges, but we know the Authority isn't in WWE anymore, and it hasn't been for a while. So I don't know. I'm reserving judgment on my career mode, but I have to be honest, it doesn't seem a great deal different from last year, which is disappointing, with the promises that they were going to really make some steps forward with the career mode by not having a showcase. I think that was a bit of a fib really, because they haven't made massive steps forward at all with my career mode. It feels identical in many ways to last year. That's not to say it's bad, because I enjoyed my career last year, but I still think they've got a fair amount of work to do to make my career something like what it would actually be like to be a WWE superstar. And it doesn't feel like that. It can feel a bit of a troll through it really. It gets a bit tedious. Matches, you've got all the usual matches in there. I still think they need to be adding some of the some of the old matches, like the Buried Alive matches and the ambulance matches. I mean, you've got backstage fighting, which is absolutely wonderful. That's probably my favourite part of this year. They've added crowd fighting, as you can see on the screen now, and backstage fighting, which is absolutely probably the best addition to the game this year. So overall, I think is 2K17, WWE2K17, is it better than last year? Yes, it is. Only just. I don't think it's made massive leaps forward. There are some graphical improvements. It looks great still. But I think the promises that they made in regards to the leaps forward they're going to make with career and universe because of dropping showcase hasn't really come to fruition. They have improved both modes, but only minimally, I would say. But that's not to say that they're not enjoyable. So overall, if you are a wrestling fan, I definitely do recommend that you pick this game up.